We watched a guy on the Bighorn just kill with this fly a size 14 Thorax tippet during a massive trico hatch. It was unbelievable. He outfished everybody with a huge rusty spinner. East or west, Hendrickson's, PMDs, sulfurs, it doesn't matter. This fly works. Hook sizes for this one could be anywhere from 12 to 22. And you should probably have some in just about all those sizes. Especially out west, especially 18s. I've got uni 8/0 rusty brown thread. I've taken it back to the bend and created a thread ball. Notice I've left the tag on the thread long. I'm going to use that to help split the tails here in a second. Here I've got half a dozen or so microfibbets. Anywhere from 4 to 6 is good. Unless you're tying trico spinners, in which case you just want a single one on a side, so 2 in that case. I think there's around 6 in this bundle. I'm going to split it in half with using the thread, pulling the thread down on my side of the hook, angling it down. And now I'm wrapping back to the thread ball, which will bring the near tails up and the far tails I'm holding up with my left hand, because otherwise they'll get taken down. And look, I've got a very nice spread on my tails there. And for flies like this that don't have hackle, it's really critical to get the best flotation possible. And a big spread on the tail really helps. And now I've gone to about the 30% point on the hook shank, somewhere between 25 and a third, quarter and a third of the way back. And I've got 2 CDC, light done CDC feathers held back to back, tips splayed out. I'm tying them on right where I had my thread stationed, bind down with half a dozen turns or so back toward the tail. Trim the butts in such a way to promote a taper. I don't care how you do this. Just be careful not to cut the tails off. I do it the way I do it, so I won't get into the tails. Bind everything down. Hopefully, by the time you get back to the tails, you'll have a tapered body. We'll get ready to tie in our goose biot. And I like Canada goose biots from Nature's Spirit, but anyone's will work. This is a left. I prefer to use lefts if I can get them. And pull the biot off the stem, and that way you can see the notch. And in this case, the notch is down. If you cut it off, the notch won't be there, and it'll be difficult for you to orient it correctly. Spinners have smooth bodies. They're segmented but smoother. And I've tied this in on the far side of the hook, and that will give me a smooth body when I wrap it. I love these Canada Goose biots. They've got wonderful segmentation. See that black line? You can't get that on a lot of ordinary fly shop biots. This was a trade secret of Rene Harrop's for a lot of years. I used to go out and look at his spinners, and Think, boy, how does he get that? Almost looked like he had wrapped a piece of black thread around. Well, it's the Canada goose. It's the secret. Now take both wings, pull them back, and take a number of thread wraps in front of them to post them up. Every once in a while, go down almost to the eye with your wraps because we want to build a little bit of a taper here. We don't want just a big clump right in front of the wings of thread. And now we're going to separate them out and try to get them back to their original, the original CDC feathers we started with. Just do your best with this. It's not always clean. And kind of form the wings, get them ready to be tied in. It's important to make them right before you start. Take 5 turns front to back going up the near wing as you hold it where you want it to ultimately be. Then take 1 turn behind both wings and then do the same thing with the far wing. Take 5 turns, in this case, back to front going up the far wing. That'll get them generally placed where you want them. Now we're going to post them up a little more with thread. Going to hold them down and back. And we're going to put some thread wraps right in front of them because we want these wings to be held in place by thread, not by the dubbing later. Take some turns behind just to get the wings well secured and in place. I like the wings to angle up slightly for better visibility on the water. And now we're going to dub the thread with rusty dubbing. You can use anything. You can use superfine if you want. Superfine makes a nice clean thorax, but I like a bulkier dubbing because it floats the fly better. I like a bulky thorax as far as that's concerned. Insects have big thoraxes. I've sped up some of this dubbing. I do a very narrow, long dubbing noodle. And I dub from the back, kind of going forward, as you can see here. But you can dub any way you want. Just try to stay away from the eye as best you can. If you get too much dubbing behind the eye, it'll cause problems when you're trying to put the fly on. And take a couple of X wraps, like so, to fill in the center. I have the same method I do every time, and no matter what method you use, it's a good idea to standardize. Get something that gives you the result you want that you can consistently reproduce. Did a couple of whip finishes here because I'm insecure, but really a 3-turn whip finish is all you need. Here's the finished fly. And I can't tell you how many big fish I've caught with a rusty spinner. A lot. It's a fabulous fly, both the east and the west. Doesn't matter where you're fishing it. It's great. So I hope you'll put some of these in your fly box. And above all, have fun.